come at a worse time.
Yeah, this is a justified rage and rebellion. Again, we see the system, the police failing, the black community, the mentally ill community. The police have no training when it comes to dealing with people who are in a moment of crisis, mental health crisis. We need social workers, we need trained professionals. They could have very easily administered a sedative to this individual, not left him in freezing temperatures in the streets of Rochester, just surrounding him. 7 police officers looked on, really waiting for the opportunity for things to intensify, then to ratchet up the pressure on him, ultimately leading to his death. And to people outside of the community, they don't realize that these things go on. But this is what we see in our communities, in our streets, on the MTA, the train system, every day. This is how the police are, quote unquote, trained to deal with mentally ill people. According to many estimates, 1/3 of all people killed by the police are mentally ill. So we need a complete overhaul of policing as we understand it in this country.
I mean, there's questions as to why it took 5 months for these officers for any sort of action to be taken against these officers. But the suspension of the officers, is that enough to end the demonstration? Protesters argued in the past over similar killings that, police should be put on trial, which we rarely see in the US.
Yeah, the police have a license to kill, and very rarely is any type of penalty administered. There's an incredible double standard. There's an incredible culture of impunity. We see the same thing right now at Fort Hood with the military in this country, where, according to some studies, 26 of our servicemen and women have been killed at Fort Hood. And who's going to investigate the military over the deaths of Vanessa Guillen and Elder Fernandez? How's the military going to investigate themselves when there's such a culture of impunity? So there's an all-time low level of confidence in the military, in the police departments of this country, that to continue to kill in both mundane and extraordinary ways people of color. So we need a full outside independent investigation into these police killings, into the killings in the military. And there's really a growing consciousness that these institutions do not represent the interests of everyday working people. So these rebellions, this questioning, this growing consciousness is completely necessary and justified.
Just expanding on that just a little further, what's it going to take to address the issue of systematic racism in America?
I don't think it could take anything short of a revolution. As long as the powers that be are in power, they just want cookie cutter change, small crumbs. And to quote Malcolm X, we don't want crumbs. We want a bakery in which to make our own bread. So can anything short of a full systematic overhaul, a transformation of this system, which depends on the criminalization of vast segments of this society, of poor people, of working people, of people of color. We need a whole new system that provides jobs, dignity, true education. So we have to understand that this police violence is an inevitable symptom of what really is a criminal, racist, white supremacist system.
Interesting points. Mr. Shaw, thank you very much indeed for your contribution. Danny Shaw, there, professor at the City University of New York.